Welcome back from that break. Well, right now I'm being joined by Richard Oriri, who is a politician and public affairs analyst. Of course, your favorites analyst on the screen again today on a Monday morning. It's glad to have you, Richard Oriri.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you for always coming.
Usual.
Thank you for always coming.
Thank you for always inviting me. Thank you.
All right, let's get into the discussion right away. But before we move, let's say the Ghanaian conducted an election, and it saw the win or the victory of John Mahama. Now, the INEC chairman has said that Ghana's electoral process inspired by Nigerians. But before then, how would you assess the Ghana just concluded election?
It's a welcome development. It's a welcome development, and John Mahama is not a new face in the political scene of Ghana. So what has happened, and generally, on the global space, you see there's so much competition now among states.
Yes.
There's so much competition. And in Africa, Nigeria is supposed to be the leading nation within the African sub-region. Nigeria is supposed to be the leading nation. But since Nigeria is not ready to take that responsibility, other countries within the African sub-region, they are pushing to see that they take the leadership space. And that has been between Ghana and South Africa all this while. So, and before the international body see you as one who is qualified to be at that level, you must be seen to have respect for democracy. You must be seen to be liberal. You must be seen to have respect for the masses, and you can be checked from that perspective through electoral process in your country. And Ghana, that we know, they practice democracy, and South Africa too, they practice democracy. And democracy, one of the basic ingredients of democracy is election. And when the process is towards letting your leadership within the country is not fair, it's not seen to be fair, it's not seen to be transparent, then you'll be rated low. And Ghana, for the president, the defeated party, to have come to say they accepted defeat, that shows a lot of significant this thing. How do I put it? So for now, Ghana, they have been pushing to be among the security body of United Nations. South Africa, they have been struggling to equally be among the security department of United Nations. Nigeria too has been pushing too, but you cannot be recognized for such position when back home you have no respect for rule of law. You have no respect for constituted authority of your country. Ghana now is like INEC chairman who says what has happened, you can call it was inspired by Nigeria electoral process. Is it correct? I cannot say that it's correct, because before now, Ghana, they have been having it right. They have been getting it right in terms of electoral processes more than Nigeria. Oh, okay. Yes, they have been getting it right more than Nigeria. South Africa too, they have been getting it right more than Nigeria. But for the first time in the history of Africa, that a sitting president for a country like Nigeria to concede defeat was in 2015, and that was Jonathan. And Jonathan seems to be the one that has broken that chain in Africa. In other part of Africa, even when they are defeated, they will still use the instrumentality of power within their reach to coercing the people and then turning these processes in their favor. But in this process now, Nigeria have done it before. They have done it the second time. Not the first time, they have done it before through Buhari and Jonathan. Then Buhari equally handed over power peacefully to the current administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And in Ghana, they are showing this first time now where opposition will come loudly to take over power from a sitting party. And it's a good judgment. It's a good judgment. But for the INEC chairman of Nigeria to say it was inspired by what is happening in Nigeria, I don't think that could be
correct.
true. Yes, I don't think that is true.
All right. Then what benefits or is this win? Because in President Bola Tinubu's congratulatory message, he said this is a plus to ECOWAS. So I want to know, what does this win for John Mahama means to Nigeria or for Nigeria? No,
for the ECOWAS is talking about is that he's the leader of the ECOWAS today. He's the chairman of ECOWAS. Presently now, President Bola Tinubu
yes,
is the chairman of ECOWAS. That this is happening in his own time is a plus to ECOWAS and plus to him, to his own regime as the chairman of ECOWAS. So for that, and he still need to step up again.
Okay.
He still need to step up because democracy generally within the African region is in crisis. Democracy is in crisis, and democracy is in crisis through the electoral processes.
Okay.
And as I said earlier, one of the basic ingredients of democracy is election. And if you see the way and manner the African countries conduct election, you will see that we are still not ready for democracy. We are practicing and seem to be practicing democracy, but our electoral processes, they are not up to the benchmark. They are not at all, even 30%, not up to.
But before I forget, what do you mean when you say democracy in Africa is in crisis? What was the word they used?
It's in crisis.
Okay.
Crisis in the sense that there are certain things that is threatening democracy.
Like what and what?
And what is that thing that is threatening democracy that has made democracy to be in crisis in Africa? Those things, one, when your election processes are not transparent,
okay,
democracy is in danger. When your electoral processes are not fair, democracy is in danger. When you are using the coercive power to suppress your opponent, democracy is in danger. Democracy is all about you give the people freedom to choose who lead them. And when they don't have that freedom, then there's no democracy. When they don't have that freedom to select who will lead them, there's no democracy. And when the rule of law is not respected, there is no democracy in that environment. And when people cannot freely air their view, like of recent now, what is trending now is Dele Farotimi. Dele Farotimi for exposing corruption in the judiciary. He's under trial.
Exactly.
You get my point? Is that is to democracy is in crisis. When citizens cannot stand to challenge the excesses of government, when there is no transparency and accountability in government, and citizens cannot challenge the government, then democracy is in crisis. You get it? Like there was a time in this country during the time of Buhari that somebody named his dog Buhari. He was charged. He was arrested. You cannot air your view. You cannot see people. When you see that citizens are in chain, you don't just say democracy only, not just that democracy is in crisis or in danger, but there is serious insecurity. You have insecurity when you are being frightened.
Even the freedom of speech is no longer.
If you are being frightened, then there is insecurity. Like now, in your home, the presence of your husband frightened you, whether he will beat you.
That means it's not.
There is no security.
Home. Yeah.
There is no security. And when you see that if you say something, government will come after you, there is no security. And in a democratic nation, citizens should be seen to have that security in all aspects. Not just food insecurity that we are having in Nigeria now, another part of Africa, but too many areas like some citizens will be scared. Please, God, don't let me get sick, because if I am sick, to even get proper medication
is a problem.
It's a problem. You are being frightened, threatened, then you have no security in that medical department as well. That please let me not give birth to three children, because I will not have the financial strength to train them in school. There is that education insecurity. You get it? Not just economic insecurity. Too many insecurity. Not that criminals come to your house to burgle your house that you say there's no security, or they come to assassinate somebody. You say there's no security. No, there is so much insecurity in almost all departments of government in this country. In the same thing with other part of the of African nation. So in democracy, I said is in crisis. Is because the basic ingredients of democracy, indicators of democracy, we are not seeing them to be what they should be. And that is why I say democracy is in crisis. Even in America today, democracy is in crisis in America. You see cartels, business cartels coming into government to hijacking state institutions. Elon Musk uses money to buy voters to ensure that one of their own, because Trump belonged to that business cartels in America, to ensure that one of their own become the president, and they will now second him and take over the country, and they have succeeded in taking over.
Are you saying the election that brought Trump into power was not free and fair? It wasn't credible.
It wasn't that credible because there was pure vote buying.
So
which even the court in America authenticated, because Elon Musk was taken to court and court endorsed it. You get it? Even vote buying has been endorsed in America today. So democracy is in danger.
Serious danger.
It's in danger generally across the globe. Democracy is in danger. And my sister.
My sister. Well, I get to rather that our phone lines are not open for you to call you. Already we have a caller here. Good morning.
Good morning, my sister.
Mazio Kara for Kamara Chuku is glad to have you join us.
Good morning, my sister. For the French, we will go to the Bazooka proud.
All right.
If the fact are done, all of us are congratulating John of Ghana. And everybody is also clear at this area is the fall of Assad. Now, let's take Ghana first. The Ghanaian agreed that the economy during John was better.
Okay.
That was why they went back again to vote for him to come back.
Okay.
Because the present government, the Chinese people have just destroyed everything. They crack everything and was making the country the power. When they are born, they are going to the power level. Down through the new hope. So we pray that the incoming government, all the promises, what they made, that they will want to fulfill. And the other thing we have to learn from Assad decided to do the dictatorship front of government. And because he was being supported by Iran, and Russia, there are people left, everybody left. Because when people agree to do that, it's not what happened. They didn't allow anybody to move the space. You have to identify yourself as a before you enter that. Now, it is good for anybody. In a particular regime, your father has finished some years, you now just come on board with something. If you add the father and the son, they have spent 50 years on the throne, only one family, which is very, very bad. And thank God for what happened between Israel and Jordan, and at least Israel, they don't want problem with anybody.
Okay.
That will show that the history has shown that Assad, the Hezbollah, Gaza, the people, everything Assad to fight was Russia. Now Israel has just leveled Hezbollah and Gaza. That is why the fall of Assad, which means Assad was not doing that, it was having an international backing. Very better. The lesson for Nigeria, we should not allow all these rebels, what do you call them, whether kidnappers or like Kaluna, whatever, we should not allow them to, because they are not bad. Because when they go to any government, when they have natural resources, they would like to drive away the people they are harassing them and go and tell them come pregnant, especially outside Nigeria. Rendering the people power. Government should be the needful, don't allow any rebel group to exist in Nigeria because it's not ready for us.
All right.
Thank God that everything in Ghana has come to us. We pray that the promise they gave Ghanaians to them. They voted Not on spiritual spiritualism or anything.
All right.
Good morning. Mazi Okoro from Arochukwu.
Mazi Okara from Arochukwu. Do have yourself a wonderful day ahead, and thank you for calling. So I was going to ask one more question before we move to other headlines. Okay, now this crisis that have deepened democracy in African countries, globally, you may even mention globally. So how do we tackle them, or is it not going to be a normal thing to live with?
No. The way to tackle it is for the people electing leaders to see that someone who have respect for democracy should be the one that they vote into power. But the problem is external influence. Look at what John Okorafor said. Is external influence. Now, what is happening in this is it Syria? What is happening in Syria? This is a fall of Assad. What is happening in Syria? If you look at it very critically, you see that America have hand in it, because Syria, they have affiliation with Russia. They have affiliation with these socialist countries, not democratic countries. You understand? These socialist countries, they are the one influencing some of these countries against democratic nations. The attack of Syria against Israel, any attack within the whole Middle East against Israel is an attack on America. It's an attack on every democratic nations. There's what they call democratic peace theory. That democratic peace theory, if you see all the crises across the globe, you will see that there is not how you will see one democratic nation and another democratic nation in crisis fighting war. You can't find it. Russia, Ukraine want to be a democratic nation, and Russia say you cannot be. That is democracy and socialism. They are the one fighting in Russia, between Russia and Ukraine. If you come to Israel is the only democratic nation within the whole of that zone. I can call it democratic nation within the whole of that zone. Now, Russia is influencing Syria. It's influencing this other country.
Is it Ashad?
This what is the name of this Syria? The one that the president died in aircraft.
Is it what is that?
Syria. I have forgotten the name of this country. They are the one fueling the crisis through the support. They are giving support to Hamas and Hezbollah. That's I forgot I've forgotten the name, but I will remember. So now, America, they are using this rebel group to oust the president, who is not thinking towards the ideology of the West, but thinking towards the ideology of Russia. Now America will be saying that it's Russia that has failed in Syria. You get my point? It's Russia that have failed in Syria. Now the military will take over government in Syria now, and once they take over this government, within shortest time, America will influence them. They will elect a democratically elected somebody to become the president of Syria, where America will have total control of the country. That they are saying it's economic policy of Assad and all of that. That is the cause of this. It's external influence. The moment they finish from here, the next place they will go is this other country. I'm trying to remember the name. The next place they will go is this other country, Syria. What is the name? I've forgotten the name of the country.
But before that, we have a constant caller here. Okay, sorry, you might have to call us back. I think the person is here already. Hello, good morning. Can you hear me? Okay, Sylvester from Abakaliki. Sylvester from Abakaliki, good to have you join us on the show. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you today?
I'm very well, thank you. Please go ahead with your thoughts.
The country you have forgotten is Iran. Let me help you.
What? Iran.
Yes.
Iran. Thank you. Thank you
for that.
Thank you.
Well, I want to align with what your discussion there. The world stage today is owned by America and Russia. If it's either you are socialist or you are a Democrat. So, but for what has happened in in Syria is long overdue. 54 years in power. They are turned to a dynasty, they are turned to a monarchy, no longer democracy. So for the people to revolt is the proper thing to do.
Okay.
Because they were not being guided properly. So I want to align with you completely that the world state today is owned by is either a socialist or a democrat. And what you are having is America and Russia, the world powers, determining the fate of the world. Whatever they want, their interest lies, that is where they will push their power to. So I want to agree with you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Even in Africa now, China is also springing up. In Africa now, China wants to take the upper hand, and Africa have just discovered that they want to start fighting China in Africa.
All right.
So I agree with you.
All right. Thank you very much for your contribution, and have yourself a wonderful day. Hello, good morning. If you can hear me, good morning. Oh, we lost that caller. You might have to call back. So then, this headline on Punch newspaper said, Trump plans mass deportations, end of birthright citizens. How does this make you feel?
Birthright citizens, you cannot end it.
But he wants
Once it's in their constitution, except you go through the National Assembly, the Senate, and the possibly House of Reps
lawmakers,
to
right?
yes,
Make
to
it as
repeal
a
the law.
But as a president now, as an attempt, there is every possibility that
once
it will happen.
you are born in America, you are a citizen of America.
What if
it's
the law
constitutional.
changes?
If he can make the he's not the head of the legislature. He is the head of the judiciary, the executive. The executive, except he is present executive bill to them, and if they I don't think they will accept it in America.
Why are you confident about
I am
that?
so confident because America is not owned by just an individual, one single people. America, all part of the world, all countries of the world, they are citizens of America. Like now in America, you cannot be president of America without Israel endorsing you. You understand? Without Israel endorsing you in America, they are the kingmakers in America. They cannot stand up to say they want to be president of America, but they are the kingmakers in America. We call them the Jews. The Jews in America, if they endorse you, you are the president. You are the kingmaker in America. The Latinos, in fact, almost you look at the Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris she has a biracial background. The husband is Israel. The mother is India. India. The mother is India, and the father is The father is from one other region. So she is a biracial person. The same thing applicable to too many other citizens of America today. Once you are born in America, you are a citizen, and Trump is not America. Trump is Trump. And he's just one Trump.
I love that Trump is Trump.
Yes, he's just one Trump.
It's good to have you join us on the show. Good morning. Your name and where you're calling us from?
Yeah, my name is Ibrahim, but you're calling from KB State.
Ibrahim from KB, please go ahead with your thoughts. You have just 60 seconds.
Yeah, actually, I must commend the guests on the studio for great job analyzing things to the understanding of the people. And also, I want to commend the electoral process of Ghana by doing what is expected of them. And like we said, Nigeria is supposed to be the leader of all the African countries, but lack of good leadership and sentimental issues that is hovering around the political globe has been a problem, is going to be a problem. So, like Nigeria now, to the best of my knowledge, sorry to say, the sitting president has already lost the election. But I know he's not going to do what is expected by handing over power to the person that is going to emerge victorious, because with the happening of things will tantalize what is going to happen in the future. So Nigeria is under critical condition, which by law, by right, the electors are not going to elect the sitting president because of what they are passing through. And that is for sure. So to hand over power or allowing democracy to take its course is going to be a problem. And that is just the thing.
All right.
That is my take on this. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your contribution, and have yourself a wonderful day. Good morning, and glad to have you join us on the show. Your name and where you're calling us from. Please, you have 60 seconds.
Good morning, Ibrahim from Abuja.
Ibrahim from Abuja, please go ahead with your thoughts.
Thank you. I don't know who still remember the famous message from David Cameron
Okay.
that our former president, the acclaimed holy person, Muhammadu Buhari, brought back to Nigeria.
Excuse me, sir. Oh, rather, please, I would appreciate it if you could be polite, or if you can be polite with your weight. This is national TV, so you don't target us.
What did I have just said? He's a acclaimed holy person now. People said he's holy. He has never said he's holy by himself. It's people that said so.
Please go ahead.
So, he came back to tell us that David Cameron said Nigerians are fantastically corrupt, and he was celebrating it. But we have just read and have heard and have seen evidence that his CBN governor, the one he employed, is owing 753 duplexes, aside other properties, in the heart of Abuja. And the question I have to ask is this. Everybody is now shouting in government, is this one, is this that? I want to ask, who approved the land?
Okay.
Who supervised the procedure?
Okay.
Are there no agency who's supposed to handle all of this? How come they were never aware that NSLA was the owner of the property? How come they were never aware that the property was gotten through fraudulent procedures and resources?
Okay.
As much as I appreciate that this has been exposed, I also want the government to bring into record every individual and group of people that are involved in approving that land, approving the design, approving the property, and supervising that procedure.
All right.
This is very important for us.
All
It's
right.
not just about thinking MFLA up and down. The Buhari himself, on top of all his holiness, there have been so many corruption we have been shouting and singing about, and nobody wants to talk about it. Just because this one affected the president now, he has brought it out. I pray that so many others will affect him that he will still expose.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, and have yourself a wonderful day.
I align myself with him completely, because that is what he has said is just institutional challenge. And in democracy, that is one of the reasons I said democracy generally is
in
a crisis.
Okay.
Institutional challenge, like the institution, we have weak institutions that cannot even challenge some things. If the institutions are good, democratic institutions, if they are strong in this country, the kind of corruption that went on during Buhari's regime, even Abacha, that they are here fighting his dead body. Abacha was not as corrupt as these democratic regimes that we have had all this while from 1999. Abacha's regime. And despite Jonathan even handed over election, handed over peacefully to Buhari, that opposition defeated him and he handed over, that we are applauding him. Jonathan's government, one of the most corrupt government ever in Nigeria.
Jonathan's government,
one of the most. He was not in control. He was not in charge. It's of recent. It's just now that we are even knowing that Nigeria can even generate revenue from gas. In Jonathan's time, nobody know anything about what was going on within the gas sector. You get my point? And in Buhari time, EFCC recovers trillions of naira from individuals in this country. Nobody have accounted for it. We don't know where those monies are. Attorney General of the Federation was in charge of EFCC, supervising a ministry of the EFCC. EFCC was accountable to Attorney General of the Federation and the Minister of Finance.
Finance, yes.
You get it? They have not given us any account of what EFCC recovered during John Buhari's time. We are here. The same government of Buhari is the corruption that is coming up. 753 duplexes owned by one individual. Just one person yet. There was no minister under Buhari's regime that was not richer than Buhari. No minister under Buhari's regime. They are all silent. Nobody is mentioning their name. They are silent. And for the fact that those ones have gone in that direction and nobody is questioning them, come and give us account.
Yes.
Come and give account. Come and give account. And in democracy, there is nothing like collective responsibility. It's individual responsibility. The head of government, which is the president, should be the one to be held accountable. Even what is happening to the former CBN governor now, Emelite, the president should be the one to be arrested, to come and account to Nigerians. What happened in his government? Because he was the one who handed over.
You mean the president or the
yes,
former
the president, the former president, Buhari,
okay,
should be arrested to give account of all of this. Because we willingly went to the poll to submit our right to him on trust. He was the one on our behalf to appointing these people. He appointed Emelite. And we believe that for the fact that he appointed him, he was watching over everything that was going on within the CBN sector. All the ministers he appointed, it was our own understanding and belief in him as the president that we handed over our right to be watching over them and monitoring the activities. Even when the corruption was going on, he refused to sack any minister, meaning he was involved. If you are taking case to police,
maybe he's not aware.
If police want to write petition for
maybe he's not aware. You know, you always come out on national TV and say, I am not aware. Anyone you bring to the table, I am not aware.
He cannot remove himself from it. If police is writing petition for you, there is what they call willful intention. Willful intention to defraud. Willful intention to steal.
Wow.
You get it?
Willful
intention to steal. Because
what does it mean?
That is to say, I can say Buhari willfully appointed these people as ministers, even when he knew they were going to steal from the ministry. To say, that is to say, he was part of it. That's, to many Nigerians, that is how we conclude it. Even whatever that happened in this administration now of President Tinubu, he's the one who will hold responsible.
Yes.
Not any individual appointed by him. But in Nigeria, we are not seeing that our leaders being accountable to us. And that is why anyone that comes, you do your own and go. Nothing will happen. Another people, that's why the corruption will keep going. Because there's no punishment.
Exactly.
It has become culture. No punishment. And once there's no punishment, if you go to China, somebody talk about China. America was using China. There's one strategy America use in checkmating their enemies. And the number one enemy of America today is Russia. America was using China to they call it a containment strategy. Containment strategy. They were using China to contain the excesses of Russia.
Okay.
And that was why America allowed China to become part of WTO, World Trade Organization. And when they became member of WTO, that was what expanded their economic base. And they were doing that because to them, once your economic base is huge and your middle class, the number of middle class, they are well to do. The number, because Chinese population was so high then. The middle class population was very big. And all of them became so wealthy, so good, so they were doing economically fine. So to America, once the majority of Chinese become economically buoyant, they will see that democracy is good, and that will make them to adopt democracy as their system of government.
Okay.
Never knew that China will not abandon socialism to democracy. And that is why you see China becoming very big today. And they know that they are very big economically. America is not closing their eyes on them. They know the strength of America. And that is why you see China. What they are after, their foreign policy objective is benevolence, non-alignment. They are not aligning with any nation, any country at all. Anywhere they see America,
that's where they
presence. No, anywhere they see America presence. Say America is fighting India now. America is fighting this now. China will not go with the use of force at all. They will not even behave that they are supporting you. Because they know the strength of America.
Diplomatic system.
They know the strength of America. And now that China is becoming so big and they are raising their hand, their shoulder with America. The three basic order today in the world: security order, global security order, global economic order, and global technological order. China, they are in almost all. Global security order is owned by America solely. Global security order, and China don't want to even go and they go close to America to say they are dragging with America. The only thing China is dragging with America presently is global economic order. The global economic order is only America and China that are in that order. The global technological order is multipolar. Multipolar, almost everyone. Russia, they are in global technological order. All this drone now that is everywhere. Even Turkey, they produce drone now. So now, America have seen that China is behaving like this. So they are not using India to curtailing China.
Okay.
They are not using India to curtailing China. And China know. They are aware of it. So all these things is to say what American national policy, America's national value is on two things: democracy and open market economy. Democracy and open market. Anybody that is fighting democracy anywhere in the world, America will come very hard on you. If you are fighting economic liberalization anywhere in the world, America will come hard on you. This is their national value, and they can go to war if these two things are threatened by any nation. So like what is happening in Ghana, what is happening in South Africa, like South Africa, the South African president, sometimes if I see his behavior, I will be smiling, I will be laughing. This man, I will be laughing because he's forming alliance now with Russia, China to form this BRICS nation. You see how Trump is coming hard on BRICS.
Yes.
Trump has made his own statement against BRICS. And what is there is that America, after the fall of Soviet Union in 1991, America don't want any hegemon to spring up anywhere again in the world. The hegemonic influence of Russia, they have broken it. And since the disintegration of Russia, of Soviet Union in 1991, nothing like that. Let's say regional bloc. That is why you see even African Union, they are not together today. America have a hand in it. America, they have a hand in why African Union is not strong. You get my point? They have hand in why African Union is not strong. Russia is infiltrating into Niger. They are infiltrating into some other countries within that zone, pushing France away. But America is watching too. There's no African Union. We become very nothing. They don't want any hegemonic influence in any region anymore. So for BRICS, Russia coming as a leader of BRICS nation, Russia and China, to say they want to fight against American dollar. It's a big fight. Any country going into that fight should be ready.
Prepared. Fully
should
prepared.
Be ready.
Ready like no other. Well, thank you so much for that analysis. That's quite interesting. But then, I want you to make something out of this for us. The tax reform bill, because it still pops up. It says, states eye 180% hike in VAT earnings amid push for fiscal federalism. And now there's another headline where I saw that, someone, I was saying this, I saw this trend on social media that this tax reform bill includes, for example, if your father has 100 million naira or 100 billion naira in the bank and he dies, that then you want to go and reclaim the assets, your father's assets, that you'll be charged some percentage and the rest of it.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, so now I want you to help us clear this 180 VAT in 180% hike in VAT earnings amid push for fiscal federalism.
The fiscal federalism that the current administration is pushing with this tax reform is the best thing that will happen to this country.
The 180% hike,
the 180% hike in tax. What is there is that if you have a limited liability company and your annual income is not above 50 million, you are exempted from paying tax. And as an individual, if your annual income is not above 1 million naira, you are exempted from paying tax.
But someone still asks me who earns 1 million in yearly or annually in this time and period. Who earns less than 1 million?
There are people who earn less than 1 million naira. You're like your 70,000 naira minimum wage. Calculate it. 70,000 times 12. Is it up to 1 million?
No.
It's not. So such persons will be exempted from paying 1 single naira as tax from that thing that you are earning. So now, this tax reform, states that have not been bringing anything to the center, they have to stand on their feet now, because our governors, they become so powerful. The constitution gives them so much power that make them so lazy. And again, coming to the center to be taking revenue from the center, what you are not producing, you are benefiting from it. We now make them to be so strong. Like before, in Benue State have what they call Benue Cement Company. Because of laziness, they sold it. And because they are coming to Abuja to take revenue freely, they sold it. Benue have what they call Benue Brewery. They not functioning. Benue have what they call the Benue Bricks. Around the Zonsi Notukpo area. Benue Bricks Company, where they produce very strong African concrete cement block. Nowhere to be found anymore. If you go to Kaduna Ariwa Textiles, it's for Kaduna State. Too many companies within the northern region, they abandoned everything and not producing anything, bringing all the employment in the very high rate, and the little that is coming from maybe Delta, Bayelsa, Rivers, who produce oil. And when the money comes to the center, they will all come. In international relations, we call them in international relations, we call them free riders.
Free riders.
Free riders. You get it?
Yes.
They come take freely. They don't contribute anything. But their own is to just come and take. Free riders. That free rider arrangement of Nigeria that has made us to become so poor, made us to become the way we are now, that every year and year our graduate will be pumping out of university from NYSC, no employment, no job. State will now go into competition.
Exactly. And
I can see that now going on in the east, the southeast zone. All the governors within the southeast, they are in competition for development, bringing in foreign direct investment to their state. The other day, I heard of Anambra State Governor. He said he was going to commission about 32 or 42 different industries.
Yes.
that they have already finished everything now to start in operation. And they will be earning revenue from such industries.
Yes, and
the federal government will have their own. And they will come and form part of the sharing too.
Exactly.
You get it? The same thing is going on in Abia State. The governor of Abia State is doing so well. Even they have their own independent power plant now in Abia. So all of these states of the federation, we are complaining of no electricity, no power supply. All our attention to federal government to give Nigeria, the entire country, light enough. It's not good. States should go into, now they have opened the door. Any state, even individuals, can have power plants. So states should invest in power generation that will be bringing income. States should invest in, federal government should not be the one alone going outside this country to look for investors. Governors who normally travel out of this country, you see them say governors in this country, they are just going there, traveling out for DTA purposes. That we call DTA, that is duty travel tour allowance. They are not going to bring any investor. They are traveling just to get DTAs.
Yes.
In huge sum. So that is criminal. Yes, that is criminal.
All right, Mr.
When you know that what you are using the public fund to do is not bringing anything to the state, it's criminal.
Hello, good morning. Glad to have you join us on the show. Good morning. Yeah. Good morning. Abdullah from where?
Auntie, and our hi. Almost, about 3 weeks time, I used to watch your program with this time and that. What I'm saying is, God has already seen like this that I will see more blessings. And if I don't know that you have somebody like this in Nigeria. More blessings, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Hi. Please, sorry, Auntie, I don't want to waste your time. I'm talking with you now. I'm watching the television in my room. In fact, hi. More blessings, sir.
Thank you, sir.
And your sponsor.
Thank you, sir.
Your partner. More blessings, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Truth is one. No corner. I don't know what I'm saying. More blessings, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
And the entire family of your state.
Amen. Thank you very much and have yourself a wonderful day.
Hi. I will never.
Well, thank you so much. But
I forgive you my
analyst.
number. Give me my number.
Analyst, tell us what you made out of this headline that says Lakurawa, Nigerian neighbors begin offensive against new terror group. And the writer says DHQ vows to block security gaps as Nigeria, Chad, Niger hold joint military operation. Now, this Lakurawas, the other day they caused havoc in the is in Nasarawa state or so. And it's beginning to, God forbid, like I always say, this shouldn't be another phase of Boko Haram. This, what do you make out of this headline? I feel like I'm knowing that some of these people emerged from Chad and Niger.
The challenge there, Nigeria as a country, we don't have problem with Niger.
So
don't have problem with Chad.
Chad, okay.
You get my point. We are brothers. Majority, almost 40% of people in Niger, they are Nigerians. And about 30% of people in Nigeria here, they are Niger.
But then
now, what is that? The problem we are having here is...
Forgive me, hold on a minute. I want to ask, these people travel all the way from their own territory to Nigeria, of course, through the border. And could we say, or should we say, our border is that porous without proper check and the rest of it? We know we are brothers. We're not trying to. But the thing is, for security purposes,
just listen to me now.
Okay.
I have said this before now. The problem is not us. The problem is external.
External.
Yes.
How do you mean external?
This problem is external.
Tell us about the external.
I am telling you now that one caller made it known to you that the fight globally is democracy and socialism. And the fight is between America and Russia. Russia has stamped their presence in Niger. They have stamped their presence in which other country you mentioned there?
Chad.
Chad.
And I think that's
even Burkina Faso.
Burkina Faso is.
They have stamped their presence in those areas, and they are doing like this now to say they are succeeding in fighting America. These countries are countries that practice democracy before. Now it's military that the Russians have succeeded in planting in these countries. Okay, now any of these nations, any of these big nations, the West, any of these big nations, they will be happy to have Nigeria. And the biggest country that America have in the entire Africa, that they cannot release to anybody, is Nigeria. Now, this security threat coming from Niger, coming from Chad, coming into Nigeria, this infiltration is influenced by foreign forces, by external forces, not by Niger people. there are some elements within the country that are being funded. You get my point? There are some elements within those countries, Niger, Chad, and all those countries, that are being funded by these external forces. These unseen hands from the foreign body.
Okay.
This unseen hand from the foreign body. They are the one funding them to infiltrate and see how they will enter into Nigeria and destabilize the country. Succeeding in destabilizing Nigeria will be against America.
Okay.
They are not fighting Nigeria directly,
Okay.
but they are fighting their enemy, which is America. And they know that Nigeria and America, we are the closest friends. In international relation, you don't build alliances because countries that doesn't have the strength, if you don't have security power, you make friend with that country that have security power. Now America and Nigeria, they are friends. Anything that happened to Nigeria happened to America. Like in Russia and Ukraine now. Ukraine, the basic fight between Ukraine and Russia. America is fighting to take Ukraine by force. Russia is saying Ukraine will not go. And other smaller countries, they are watching the two nations.
Exactly.
Anyone that succeeds in taking Ukraine, that is the country that the rest of the smaller countries that will just pick and say, you are my oga, you are my father. Hold me tight, so that this country will not come and
You're
kill
coming
me.
back in today by 5 p.m. to come and tell us this. But at this point, we are out of time and I have to sign out. So this is where we bring an end to the show this morning. Thank you so much for watching, and for those of you that were not able to pick your first, sincere apology. I guess some other time you'll be lucky. And this is where we draw the curtain for today's morning show. Thank you very much and keep watching KAFTAN Television. May God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Bye.